Hi! Welcome to a realistic weekend living in a camper. Come on in! If you're new here, my name is Sierra and I've been living in this 30-foot camper that I renovated all on my own with my son and our semi-feral kitty Sage. We've been in the camper for about a year and a half now. So we travel part-time in the summers to escape the heat of Texas, which is where we live, where our family is. And we usually go into the mountains. So for the rest of the year, we have to find a place to live stationary. And I try to do that as close to my parents as I can. So right now I am at a mobile home neighborhood park. So not an RV park. So it is a little different around here. So anyway, I thought it would just be fun to take you guys along with me through a typical weekend in my camper. Okay, so I got dressed for the day and ready for everything I need to do, which is kind of a lot. Today is Friday and I actually have today off and I do not homeschool on Fridays. So I am going to use this time to get some errands done that I've been meaning to get done for a while. Also, my son's cousin is coming over, my nephew. And they're gonna do a sleepover tonight, so I want to make sure everything is prepared before he comes over, because living in such a small space can be very hectic, especially with more people that you add whenever it's not kept up with. So I need to tidy up. I also need to pick up 2 grocery orders that I made because we are pretty much out of food. So I want to make sure I have all the boys' snacks that they like. And then I need to fill up my fresh water. We have literally none. And yeah, I cannot exist without water. I need my water every day. Oh, I need to get my laundry done too because it's just been sitting in my son's bedroom, piling up, and we don't have really any towels right now. So hopefully I can get that done. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to try and drop off some of my Amazon package returns, because they're just sitting here taking up valuable counter space, which you already know, living in a small space, I don't have a lot of. Our camper is about 280 square feet, including the slide outs. And while I've done a lot of aesthetic renovations to my rig, which you can watch here, there are still so many things that I need to do to make this place more functional and just create a space for every little thing, which is so important when you live in such a small space. I've had to either make or buy almost all of the counter space and table space that you see, but even that isn't enough. So anytime anything is left out on a counter, it just looks so messy, and even though a smaller space is quicker and easier to clean up, it's just as easier to get dirty and messy. So if you don't keep up with it, it can be very overwhelming. So I try my best to keep up with it throughout the day so it feels more manageable. But y'all, I struggle sometimes, and it doesn't always look like this, especially with having a kid. You know how it is. So because I live in a mobile home neighborhood, there's no amenities like a laundry room offered, unlike at an RV park. So I typically get my laundry done at my parents', shout out to them, about once a month, but they've been kind of going through a lot lately, so I just decided to get it done myself. And this is me trying to be inconspicuous while filming in public. While I have an okay water filter currently and could use the city water connection for drinking water, I want to do a little more research on upgrading my water filter before I do that. So for now, I use 4 or 5 gallon jugs and fill them up at either this water distributor where my parents live or at Walmart. Yes. Okay guys, we got all of our water. So we're good to go for a little while. Now we just had to go to the post office to return all of these packages. Y'all, I absolutely swear by this wagon. I feel like every single mom or woman should have this. It has been such a help with carrying heavy items to and from my camper, especially on grocery days. Honestly, I feel like grocery shopping, living in a camper compared to a house, and especially an apartment complex, is so much more easier. I remember when I lived on the second floor of an apartment when my son was just a baby, and I had to lug all the groceries up the stairs and car seat carrier every single time. Oh, I do not miss those days. Here, I don't have to walk too far or go up any steps. I just unload everything right at my door, and once I get inside, I just unload everything into my fridge from there. And while this is all a lot to do in one day, I only have to do this about 2 times a month maybe. And it's just easier for me this way because it can be a hassle taking my son out. We are both very introverted and have a bit of anxiety sometimes, so yeah.
Thank you.
Currently, my rig can accommodate 3 people to sleep, so I had my nephew sleep on our couch, and I slept with my son in his full-size bed. Hi y'all, it's the next day, and honestly I haven't filmed that much because I've been going through it. I did something to my knee yesterday and it's just been killing me. I've never had pain like this before. I don't know if this is just what pushing 30 looks like, but it has been very hard to do anything. I've been trying to be present with the boys as much as I can and make things special for them, but it's just been hard. And I took a nap earlier and rested, so that was nice. I feel like moments like these are when it's very evident how hard single motherhood can be. You know, having someone to like help you when you're not feeling the best, and just having that village, which, I mean, I love my mom, but I feel like a village can't just consist of your mom. Like, you need like a whole community, which is what I've really been craving and wanting to get, but which also ties into, you know, finding land and establishing a home base somewhere that we can always, that can be ours, you know, and find community. And but that is on hold right now, or we're kind of in the process of doing that, but I don't know, it's just been more difficult than I thought for sure. Anyway, I guess I just want to say, even though things don't happen the way that you thought they would or the way you wanted, everything is happening the way it's supposed to, and you just have to trust in the process and God, if you believe in God. And you know, for me, that's what I'm doing, and there has been good out of this, and I know that our dreamland will present itself to us and at the right timing. So everything will happen the way it's meant to. Despite the smaller space and less storage, living in a camper is pretty similar to living in a regular sticks and bricks home. That is, if you're connected to full hookups, meaning sewer, water, and electricity. I have all the major conveniences of a regular home, with the exception of a dishwasher and a dryer and washer. It's just, in an RV, things work a little differently. When we need to take a shower, I have to turn on the water heater, which takes about 20 minutes to heat up. So I set a timer, and while I wait for that, I make sure my gray tank is empty, which is where all of my water that comes from showers and any sink use, washing dishes will go into. Once the water is hot, I turn off the water heater, and I have hot water for about a full day. I always turn on my max air fan to give a little bit more ventilation, because one thing about campers is you definitely don't want to let humidity sit and build up, because they are more prone to water damage and so on. I spent the rest of the day just resting and enjoying the weather, which is honestly what most of my days look like since I've lived in this camper. This is honestly one of my favorite parts about camper living is the light rain that you hear. When it's like heavy thunderstorms, it's a little scary, but the light rain with the distant rolling thunder is just like the best ever. The tinier space doesn't feel so tiny because most of the time I have all of my windows and doors open, or I'm outside so I can be as immersed in nature as possible. I love that I can hear the rain and the birds chirp and the song of the bugs at night. Because I have chosen a path that is much more cheaper compared to apartment living or a mortgage that would have me in debt forever, I am rich with freedom. Freedom to pick up and go anytime I want to and wake up to a mountain or a lake or even a beach. Or buy a piece of land and live in this camper while I create my dream homestead. Freedom to design my space how I want to, that gives me so much dopamine. And most importantly, freedom to not have to work as much so I can be present with myself and my son more, living at a pace that feels right for my nervous system. I make these videos to hopefully show others, especially solo moms and women, that they too can live a free and slow life on their own terms. So if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for being here. See you next time.